Willie D Live.
It's Willie D, y'all, back with another episode of information and instructions to help you navigate through this wild, crazy, beautiful world. In the studio, choke, no joke.
Thanks for having me, man.
Mr. Arthur asked.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Man, I'm going right in. Because of your proximity to Roc-A-Fella, you've been behind the scenes, you've been in the boardroom, you've been caught in the crossfire. You have exposed a lot over the last couple of years. Like, what is it that you have not shared that you've been weighing because of the consequences?
What I haven't shared, I think I shared about everything. I wear my heart on my sleeve, so what I probably may have not shared is probably like the people that I work with, like they more intimate stuff, like they personal family stuff or relationship stuff, like stuff of that, like that's off the table. You know
That's
what I'm
off the
saying?
limits for you.
Yeah.
That's honorable, man, because I'm going to tell you something. A lot of the cats, they don't give a damn about none of that. You know, they just trying to get that attention, get those likes, get those shares, those subs, and they don't give a damn about the collateral damage.
Right.
That's honorable though, yeah, because family should be off limits.
Yeah. Like, you know, like if you're just saying Roc-A-Fella, like me running around with Dane for all those years, I'm not going to talk about his personal relationship stuff that, you know, I may have been privy to or things like that. You know, those type of things I'm not going to talk about.
Right.
Public stuff, yeah, dudes jerking or taking advantage of me or other people, stuff like business stuff that people should be aware of, I'll talk about that, but I'm not going to get like personal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And being there from the beginning, do you still, like, even though you had your issues and stuff with Roc-A-Fella, you've had your issues with the owners, do you feel still feel any type of loyalty to the label?
Hell no.
So in your mind, what has happened, and that's it. You're gone.
Yeah, I mean, my career out, you know, it was way past Roc-A-Fella, you know, way back in the beginning of the tunnel, way even before, like I started modeling and acting probably like 91 when I got out of jail. That was my exit from the streets, you know what I'm saying? So I've been around dudes like Puff when he was at Uptown Records, working for Andre Harrell. You know what I'm saying? When he just had a cubicle in Uptown Records, but they answering the phone to my bad boy. You know what I'm saying? So I've been around all these guys before they even was rich or really got their start. You know what I'm saying?
So that makes even more sense now because, like, for me, coming from Rap-A-Lot Records, being there from almost the jump, but especially being a part of the beginning of the success run, I have a loyalty to Rap-A-Lot that's unmovable. Like, you'll never, ever, ever hear me speak ill of Rap-A-Lot or Jay Prince. It's not because of no type of fear or anything. It's the loyalty that I have, because if it wasn't for Rap-A-Lot, if it wasn't for Jay believing in me, you know, man, a lot of people would have had some difficult lives. You know, like they would have had some difficult lives because I was gonna get that money. You know? I was serious about getting that money.
Right.
But yeah, that makes a lot of sense, bro. That makes a lot of sense. If you could live in the space of any one of the owners of Roc-A-Fella, whether it be Biggs, Jay-Z, or Dame, if you could just walk in their shoes for a moment just to see how they really move, you know, which one would it be and why?
It definitely wouldn't be Biggs because he ain't do shit. You know what I'm saying? He was the guy that lucked up by investing in something, a dream somebody had.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And he kind of learned the game as long as he went. Jay-Z was the talent, you know what I'm saying? And the talent that nobody wanted to sign. Nobody really liked his way of rapping. I would say Dame because he was the guy that went to college, got a little knowledge, learned a little bit about, you know, business management. And then he took on Jay as a manager. And he's the one that helped Jay get to where he is, you know, by when nobody wanted to sign Jay, yo, we gonna start our own label. That's how Biggs got involved. So they all chipped in, you know, put their money in, you know, leaving the streets. And so I would say Dame out of all of them, you know, Jay-Z is more of an opportunist, right? He's a chameleon. You know, he could get in the room with these people and do whatever he got to do to advance. Dame more has integrity. He's not going to do anything to advance. You know what I'm saying? He's not going to succumb to homosexuality. You know what I'm saying? To advance. He's not going to succumb to the dark side, whether you call it satanic, Luciferians, or whatever you want to, Illuminati, or whatever they want to call it. He's not going to sacrifice his soul to move forward. Jay ain't going to do whatever. And he going to step on whoever, and he don't give a fuck.
So I was going to ask you, you know, what you thought about the rift between Jay-Z and Dame, and I guess you just answered it.
I know about the Ghetto Boys since I was hustling in Virginia. You know what I'm saying? This is probably like 88, 87. So when people saying that New York people wasn't listening to the South, no, some New York people wasn't listening to the South. But when I'm in Virginia, you know what I'm saying, all the girls that I'm, you know, hanging out with when I'm hustling, they put me up on the Ghetto Boys. You know what I'm saying? I'm listening to Bone Thugs when they came out because I'm out of town. So I have a different perspective when it comes to hip hop because I was out of town in different places and I learned about y'all and different other groups way back then. So when I hear the South and they come to hip hop, it ain't Outkast saying, you know, the South got something to say. Ghetto Boys been saying something since the 80s. Where the hell y'all niggas been at? You know what I'm saying? Way before the 90s. You know, so I've been watching everybody since, you know, the streets and then getting into the industry. And then when I started hitting the glass ceiling, I would say probably when I got the BET is then when I started learning about the secret homosexuality clubs. And then all these dudes now that prosper that are in the space that we on, they all succumb to that. How I know? Because I came into school with y'all. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I look at it, the hip hop university. We all came in together. A lot of these dudes graduated because they succumbed to the dark side or they succumbed to homosexuality. And dudes like us, we don't get that because we didn't do what they do. And they not going to let us get in the spaces that they in because we ain't do what they do. So why would they let us eat the way they eat when we didn't do what they did? And that's all it really boils down to.
Is it, in your mind, it's a requirement. If you want to go to that, I don't want to even say the next level, I would say the highest level. If you want to be the guy, you saying that's a requirement.
Hell yeah.
You don't believe there's any guy up there that's all the way up at the top who have not sold his soul to be there.
Even when you look at a Master P or a Jay Prince, even them, as successful as they've been, right? Mostly their money came from them making it on their own, right? And investing in themselves. But you won't see them today in the space that they should be in Jay is no different from fucking Little J. Jay ain't no different from Master P. Technically, Master P was more successful of a CEO than Jay-Z was. Jay-Z was successful because of what Dame did, right? But look at Dame, right? He's a perfect example. Why after Roc-A-Fella wasn't he the CEO of Def Jam? Why he couldn't get a job for any other record label, Motown, anything with the success that he has, the CEO. Jay wasn't the CEO. I mean, he was the CEO on paper, but daily in the office, that nigga wasn't there. The artists couldn't call on him for things that they needed, or, you know, he wasn't sitting down with the product managers and the marketing team for every artist. He did it for himself, but for the day-to-day operations, it wasn't him. And then y'all turn around and let this nigga run Def Jam?
I think when you start talking about the artists, or even, I think the artists are like a microcosm of society, period. Like people that, no matter what discipline they're in, right? So it's like the people who make the waves are going to be challenged more. They're going to face more obstacles because those who have it, those who can just push the button and make things happen and put you in position or whatever, they don't want to deal with somebody who they believe will challenge them. You know, somebody who say, "Where's my goddamn money?" and I ain't going nowhere till you stroke the check. See, I did a deal with Ichiban Records back in the Gap, and they owed me some money. And I called these people for my money like a whole month straight, and they kept giving me the runaround. So one night I told my guys, "Look, man, we're going to Atlanta in the morning. Be prepared. I'm gonna call you first though to let you know it's really going down. I'm gonna call them and I'm gonna try to get this dude on the phone. If he don't get on the phone, we gonna go to we getting on the first thing smoking to Atlanta." And that fool didn't call, so we was already in position. We met at the airport, and this was back in the day. You could book a flight and be on the flight within an hour, right?
Right.
So we jumped on the flight. We go down there, and we ready. We pull up, and it was just like in the movies where you walk in, and the receptionist is going, hey, you can't go in there, you know? And we just kept walking. And I go in there, and I encouraged the dude to stroke the check that he owed me. And let him know it better not bounce. You know, I ain't going to be responsible for his help. And, you know, he stroked the check. I walk out, and as I'm walking out, this white chick walks up to me, and she's like, "I'm glad you did that. Tupac just left about 30 minutes ago, and he turned the table over. You know, they owed Tupac money too." And so I thought that was, I didn't think I was doing it for attention or trying to be a bad guy or anything. I did it because I thought that's what a man's supposed to do, you know, like stand on business.
Right.
But when I did it, man, before I got back to Houston, I was blackballed. It was like they were mad. It was like the word got back that I did that. And they came, you know, they was like, none of the majors want to sit down with me and talk business after that. And I thought, in my mind, that was an honorable thing to do. I thought everybody would be like, "Damn, that's real, man. He did the right thing." Shit, by the time somebody checked that guy, you know?
Right.
But instead of that, you know, I was met with angst, you know? I was met, you know, with contempt.
Right. Well, see, the thing is, the industry is not no place for somebody with intelligence. The industry is not no place for street shit, so to speak. You know what I mean? This is why they ushered out the gangster music and ushered in the Soldier Boys and the younger dudes. It wasn't about the talent. It was about get these street niggas out of here because they robbing us, right? And How many times you seeing Straight Outta Compton, Ice Cube, right? He looks like the bad guy because he telling them dudes, yo, they robbing us, right? So they make him look like the bad guy. So intelligence is not a place for this music business because all the people that run it are people that aren't like us, that don't look like us, but want to benefit from us. That's where Dame coined that phrase, culture vultures, right? People think culture vulture is white people coming into black people's business and making money off of it. I'll give you another example of culture vulture, with no disrespect. Wu-Tang are culture vultures. Them niggas ain't grow up in Japan, China, right? They didn't grow up in Shaolin, but they use their culture to make money, right? Now, be dudes in Japan and China or wherever the Shaolin dudes or the Wu-Tang's from, they look back and be like, when they used what we used to watch, the Shaw Brothers movies, right? Golden Arm, The Five Deadly Venoms, those type of movies, that inspired their hip hop, right? But when the Asians or the Japanese or the Chinese, whatever they are, when they sit back and they watching Wu-Tang, they are looking like, man, that's fake. Dudes can't fly through the air and be kicking like that. The dudes is on strings and this and another. But for us, we were fascinated with the culture, right? They got, RZA or whoever, they got fascinated with their culture and they implicated it into their raps, right? Mm-hmm. None of them ever been across to Japan and China when they was working on the 36 Chambers, right? They used that culture that it influenced our culture, hip hop culture, to the point now where we love Wu-Tang and we love Shaolin, and none of us probably never been there. That's another definition of culture vulture, right?
But can you be a culture vulture if you're like respecting the culture where you're getting your art from?
Yeah, but you're still making money off of something that you didn't live. The same way that these white people make money off of us, right? They're not a part of our culture, you know what I'm saying? But they got involved in our culture to make money, right? Like people always talk about Vlad as a culture vulture, right? Vlad was born in the Ukraine, right? He's from Russia. He's Jewish. Have you ever seen him have any Ukraine artists on his show? Or have you ever seen him put out any Ukraine music? He got his claim to fame from a Tupac unreleased music called Rap Phenomenon with a bunch of unreleased Tupac music. Anybody could have put that out when Tupac died and became famous.
But let me challenge you on that.
Sure.
Now, Vlad also put out a series of DVDs, hip hop DVDs, and he was DJing. As far as I know, he started doing all of this as a teenager. So if Vlad is going to the hip hop spots and
see what you just said?
Yeah.
He's going to the hip hop spots. He's a Ukrainian dude, right?
Right.
So he's coming to our culture.
That's right.
Go ahead.
That's right. He absolutely is coming to our culture. I mean, nobody's arguing. Vlad wouldn't argue that he's not making money off of hip hop, or his whole platform is not influenced and propped up by hip hop and black culture. He's not arguing that. Mm-hmm. But what I'm saying is that if you go into the culture and if you contribute to that culture by putting out art, you're DJing, you start, you create a big platform like the one he have, and you hire black people. Predominantly, your staff is black, and you are, you're promoting that culture. Is that does that person still deserve the title of culture vulture? Because when you think,
Yes.
when I think vulture is something bad, right?
No.
That's not a bad thing.
No.
Okay, so if he's a culture vulture, is that something to be? But there are situations where people say somebody is a culture vulture, and usually the connotation is that it's associated with something negative, right?
Right. Well, people take it as negative because Dame is saying, yo, you're a culture vulture, meaning you swooped in on a culture because it was popular, right? So, and Vlad staff all wasn't black.
No,
like
it was
Sonny.
I said predominantly black.
Yeah, but the dude like Sonny that was at Vlad in the beginning that helped him build Vlad. Vlad didn't build Vlad. You got dudes like Sonny and all these other guys that they don't know. I'm a person that Vlad was dealing with in the beginning, right?
Yeah.
He used to take, when I did the last days of the Roc, right? This is 2005, 6, when YouTube started. I would give Vlad my links to put on his Vlad website. Me not knowing, Vlad was downloading my videos and uploading them onto his YouTube channel, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now you making money off of my videos and you not paying me nothing.
So he still haven't circled back and say, hey, Choke, man,
Hell no.
I got a bag for you.
No. And how I realized that he was doing...
Okay, good.
How I realized...
Which one of his cameras? Is this my camera? This is my
Yeah.
Vlad. All right, good.
Now, how I realized Vlad was doing that, one day, Vlad is not totally independent. People think Vlad is independent. Vlad, I've been in this game a long time, and I know these guys. Like I told you, we all went in the same hip-hop university together, right? Mm-hmm. So we coming up in the business together. One day, Complex is flagging all my shit on YouTube, right? And I'm like, yo, why is he so flagging my shit, right? And I hit Vlad up. And I'm like, yo, Vlad, why is Complex flagging my shit, right? I let you get my, promote my stuff. Now, this is how now I know how he's been taking all my videos, uploading them on his channel, making millions of views, getting millions of views, right? These dudes flagging me. So I'm like, yo, take all my shit down now. Oh, come on, Choke. No, man, I'll talk to them, this, that, and other. Motherfucker, he did a deal with Complex, right? Sold some of his company to Complex. And then after Complex had some of them, then BuzzFeed bought Complex. So this is why he may have all this money to start paying out people. Because you do this like I do this. You can't be paying all these people to become doing these interviews unless you're getting funding from somewhere, right? It's very costly. And yeah, you may make a lot of views or whatever, but not to the point where you could just be paying everybody to come do these interviews, right? So that's how I found out that he was uploading my stuff. So I made him take everything down. That's where me and him fell out at. Now, he thought that I made him take everything down because he had a problem with Dame, right? Because him and Dame was going at it at the time. At this time, I'm done with Roc-A-Fella. And this ain't about Dame. This is about, I just realized that you were making money off of me, right? You wasn't promoting me. You were making money and you didn't break me off nothing, right? And now you done got so much attention and gained so much attention that Complex comes and want to do business with you. But Complex never do business with me. You get what I'm saying? So that's where, that's definitely culture vulturing right there.
Yeah. Well, if he didn't pay, you didn't break bread, what I'm saying? That's different. You got to break bread.
Right.
When you look at the stuff that you did have, the material that you did have, and that Vlad got a lot of views on, did you ever look at the situation and say, well, damn, what I should have done is, I should have put myself in a position where I could have ownership and stewardship of my own stuff as
I
opposed
did
to
have I do have
well, you have
ownership.
ownership, but I'm
that's
saying
why I was able to tell them take my shit down.
But no, I'm saying and I'm saying as far as having that structure where you can, be the primary beneficiary.
Yeah, I was
of your
uploading my stuff to my YouTube channel. This is 2005, 6, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is, he's also
So so I did not know you had been on it that long.
I'm the first web series on YouTube with The Last Days of the Roc.
Yeah.
This is how everybody got to see Dame Dash in the conference room, blacking out on Leo and all of them. I've been doing this since VHS tapes.
You filmed that?
Yes.
Man, that's golden. That's golden. When you was doing it, was it just for company records, or did you say, I'm going to put this shit out and let the world see how this go?
No.
What it looks like in the boardroom.
No. What happened was Jay-Z was having a secret meeting for the Black album, right? Now, to go back a little bit, right? People didn't know Jay-Z and Dame had a riff going on. Ultimately, it was over women. You know what I'm saying? Aaliyah, you know what I'm saying? Quite frankly, that was it. Dame kept going behind Jay and messing with his broads. You know what I'm saying? Aaliyah wasn't the only one, right?
You mean Jay kept going behind Dame?
No. Dame kept going behind Jay. Aaliyah was Jay-Z's girl first.
Oh, damn. Wait a minute. I think I did hear. Oh,
that's a fact.
Damn. Well, I'll be damned.
I could show you pictures of Jay-Z and Aaliyah when they was together. Case in point, 2000, and Lil' Kim had an album release party at the Puck Building. Jay-Z and Aaliyah came in together.
This is too much. Scotch and water, please. Go ahead. Damn.
Right? Jay and Aaliyah came in together as a couple, right?
Okay.
I go up to them, because like I said, I've been doing this since VHS. I put out independent VHS, drove across the country, New York, Houston, LA, wherever, to all the one stops we used to have back then when I was doing my tunnel thing. And I would sell them $1,000 a box wholesale. Then the format changed over to DVD, so on and so forth. Then it went to MP3s, so on and so.
Right.
But getting back to 2000, the Puck Building, Lil' Kim had an album release party. Jay came in with Aaliyah. I went over to them to interview them, right? Jay said, yo, yeah, you could do it, but do it separate. You know what I'm saying? Because he didn't want the world to know Aaliyah was his chick, right?
Why not?
Jay's always been private like that. Even when he was dating Beyonce, it was a secret. You know what I'm saying? I'll get to that next, right? So you guys, Johnny Nunez, to take the pictures. I could show you video and I could show you Johnny Nunez pictures. You'll see the pictures. Johnny took them together. But when Mr. Excitement was my host at the time, we interviewed Aaliyah and Jay-Z, but we did it separate. So it wasn't them doing it together as a couple. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It was different from Nas running around with Khalees and they do interviews together. You know what I'm saying? Jay would do his, he just was private like that. You know what I'm saying? For whatever reason. Maybe because he had other chicks. Who knows, right? So like when we finish, I'll show you the pictures of them together, right? And then for all y'all that want to Google it, Jay-Z and Aaliyah at the Puck Building. Jay-Z got on the Golden State, Golden State NBA team.
The Warriors?
The Warriors.
Yeah.
He got on the Golden State Warriors jerseys, blue and gold. When you see that, you'll see pictures of him and Aaliyah together. That's before Dame, right? If you look at pictures at Diddy White Party, Jay was with Aaliyah. Dame's in the pictures with him. And you with the white girls. Dame always been into white women. After his first baby mother, he's always been into white women. Dame isn't really into black women. Only reason he dated Aaliyah because she was Aaliyah. You know what I'm saying? But Aaliyah's built like what? A white girl, right? In the body, right? But Jay has always been private like that. even when he was with Beyonce. You know, if you go look back at New York Fashion Week and, you know, Kamora Lee had the Fat Farm fashion shows, you would see Jay with Beyonce, but Tina Knowles is sitting in the middle of them. You know what I'm saying? They together, but it don't look like they together. You know what I'm saying? There's a time we was in Baseline, and Beans and Young Chris was recording The Home of Philly, and Jay and Beyonce's in the room together, booed up, right? But to the world, they don't know it yet. But us at Roc-A-Fella, we know, right? I'm in the booth with them, filming them. When Beans and Chris go out the booth and go into the studio part, I'm waiting for them to walk out and then film them coming into the room. Jay and Beyonce sitting right there together, booed up, right? Jay thinks I'm filming him and Beyonce, right? Soon as Beans and Chris come in, I cut down, boom, end of the shot. I'm walking out the door. I see Jay-Z go fly out the door. He catch me running. I'm coming out the booth. Man, you filmed us. You filmed us. I'm like, yo, no, I didn't, nigga. Yo, come on. Yes, you did. You filmed us. Now, I already know he don't like to be filmed, right? Because me and him already had a situation where I'll get to that, right? Where he got me jumped because that was another notification that him and Dame wasn't rocking with each other because he had me, Dame had me go film one of Jay-Z concerts. Jay sent his mans over there like, yo, who's this dude filming? His mans go over to Dame like, yo, who this dude filming? He filming for us. He worked for us, Roc-A-Fella. Jay tell them niggas, yo, get that camera, get that tape. You know what I'm saying? That's how I realized the split was going on. His team, like 6 niggas jumped me for the camera, this, that, and the other. One of the dudes tried to kick the camera out of my hand, and I moved it, missed, and his foot caught my chin and slammed my bottom teeth up to my top teeth. I dropped the camera. His man picked it up, ran out. You know what I'm saying? I get out the hospital. I go see Dame on some gangster shit, and it was Jay. And, you know, Jay paid me off, and that was the end of it. You know what I'm saying? For me, you know, as long as he paid me and acknowledged what he did, it didn't have to go no further because I kept my job and I moved on and I built my legacy with Roc-A-Fella, right? But getting back to Baseline, so Jay runs up. So this is how I know Jay don't like to be filmed. We established that, right? So Jay runs up to me as I'm walking out of the booth and he's like, yo, you filmed us. You filmed me and Beyonce. And I'm like, no, I didn't, man. He's like, yes, you did. Yes, you did, man. Yes, you did. Yo, let me play it back. Play it back. And I'm like, yo, dude, I already know you don't want to be filmed. Like, and I know you don't want nobody to know you with Beyonce. Man, play it back. Let me see. Let me see. I play the tape. I click it on, and I rewind back. So he see the camera go from the floor up to Beans and them, and then come right, them going back out the door. Never is him and Beyonce shot. And he like, oh, my bad, man. I apologize, yo. I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I've always known that Jay wasn't the type of dude to be public with his relationships. You know what I'm saying? When he knew that it was going to be what it was going to be with Beyonce, then they made it public. But he been dealing with Beyonce way longer than people knew.
People did not know, at least I did not know about the Dame and Aaliyah situation. Him, Jay-Z dating Aaliyah first. Mm. That would explain a lot. Because I can tell you, if I think back to where a guy that I thought was my guy, and he messed around with a chick that I was with, mm-hmm. I would definitely feel some type of way about that. Mm-hmm. I would feel some type, even if I ain't care nothing about her, you know, it's a code, right? It's an unwritten code. Mm-hmm. I mean, do you think that perhaps, that's one of the reasons why
that's definitely the reason
Jay-Z really don't trust, he don't help Dame because he don't trust Dame, or he took off with the company because, you know, because of this long-standing feud, you know,
Yeah, I
with this
mean,
relationship?
that's definitely a big part of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, there has to be some level of respect. Now, you know, Cameron and the Dipset, you know, disrespecting Jay-Z, you know what I'm saying, on the label. The Dipset anthem. Two more for Cam for taking over the Roc. Yeah, yeah. And then stupid nigga go get in the video, him and Biggs, and they, at that part, they get in the video and they like, come on, at what point, how long you gonna keep disrespecting this dude for him to feel the way that he's feeling or move the way that he's moving? Jay-Z and Dame never had an argument. I've never seen these dudes have an argument. You know what I'm saying? It just got to the point where Dame just got too disrespectful. Dame tried to holler at Beyonce at the Change Clothes video. You know what I'm saying?
Come on, Dame. Come on, man.
You know, Dame was just, you know.
Man, I refuse to believe that. I just refuse.
You don't have to believe it. I was there.
Yes.
Like, you can ask Jay if he ever talk about it. And then it got to the point where Jay had it to where Dame couldn't even come around Beyonce.
Oh, well, damn. Let's go back to the beginning of Roc-A-Fella. When Roc-A-Fella started, you at what point did you come in?
03 Bonnie and Clyde, before that came out. And how I came in was I was doing my tunnel thing, right? I used to put these music video documentaries out on the tunnel, right? From, you know, everybody performed at the tunnel, from Jay-Z to Nas to Domino, Ice Cube, everybody that was somebody in hip hop. You know, if you came to New York, this is the venue you had to do. You know, so I used to put out VHS. I put out my first 3 VHS was Tunnel 2000, then Tunnel 2001, then T3. Mm-hmm. Then the format changed. And then they started doing DVDs. So I re-released all 3 on DVD. And then my 4th one was the best of Jay-Z. Because I had filmed Jay-Z at the tunnel probably at least 3 times. And he was one of the artists that had the biggest performances at the tunnel, right? So when I was putting out 3, at this time, you know, Master P had kind of coined that promotion within your project. You know, remember how he would promote other artists' projects. If he put out his album, you seen Mia X was coming next, or Silk the Shocker, or whoever. You know, they all would be in the advertisement, right? So I did that in the DVD, right? So I went to a girl named Emmanuel Punica, who was doing the acting and modeling with me. She had left that and went into video promotions, and she landed a job at Roc-A-Fella. So when I was getting ready to put out my 4th DVD, the best of Jay-Z, I went to her and I'm like, yo, tell Dame I'm getting ready to put out, you know, this best of Jay-Z DVD, see if they want to put some trailers on it, you know what I'm saying? I'll do it for free. You know what I'm saying? At that time, they was going to put out Paper Soldiers. They had Backstage out already. Paid in Full was getting ready to come out. And it was something else. So she took it to Dame. Dame saw it and was impressed by it and asked to meet me. So I went to meet him and he's like, damn, yo, you did all this by yourself? And I'm like, yeah. He like you produced, directed, edited this, and you did the packaging and all this? I'm like, yeah. Like for me, it's nothing because I done already put out 3 VHS, 3 DVDs. So this is my 7th title. So for him, he may be impressed with me. I've been doing it. So he like, damn, like you did all this. Yo, you want to come work for Roc-A-Fella? And I'm like, yeah. Like when? He like, I'm going to the Shane Mosley, Oscar De La Hoya fight in Vegas tomorrow. You could start tomorrow. I'm like, sure. He like, yo, get this nigga number. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And next day I was on a private jet and never flew commercial again for the next probably 4 years. Everywhere we went was private jets. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I got to Roc-A-Fella. And that was probably like 2002 going into 2003, maybe. Might even be a little earlier, right? My first memorable meeting was the marketing meeting for the rollout for the Blueprint 2 album. And the first single was 03 Bonnie and Clyde, which was a remake of Me and My Girlfriend by Tupac, right? Me being who I am, I'm the same person I am today. They show us the video goes off, right? And I go, why is Jay-Z doing Tupac shit over? Tupac ain't fuck with Jay-Z. Everybody would fuck. You could hear a mouse piss on cotton. The whole room was quiet. Everybody was stunned. Dame looked at me and said, somebody call Jay and tell him what Choke just said. Right? Right? But that's who I am. I'm going to give you the truth.
So what did Jay-Z say in response to what you said?
I don't know, but they still put the song out.
I thought it was brilliant. I thought, yeah, that's true. You know, it was true that Pac did not fuck with Jay-Z. But the fact that Jay-Z did the song, I thought it showed a different level of maturity. I didn't think that it was disrespectful at all. I thought he was paying homage. It was like, man, I'm bigger than just, you know, I like the song. That's the way I perceived it. It was like,
He stole that man's shit.
how did he steal it though? He
By
just
remaking it. What's the first rule in hip hop?
Be original.
Okay, no biting, right?
Huh?
No biting.
No biting. Right.
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 So you taking another nigga song. I mean, Snoop killed that when he did Lottie Dottie over. To me, Snoop was the first person that commercially bit a nigga song, and people was, you know, probably first was like, but you see how he started the song off. Shout out to my nigga Slick Rick. If you don't like it, eat a dick. Because he knew that he was biting.
Yeah.
Right? So after that, then he did the Vapors over. After that, then everybody just felt like it was cool to steal nigga shit.
Do you think that might have something to do with the way that hip hop is being represented today, as far as like the cadence? If you listen to a lot of artists today, the newer artists today, they got about three gears that they switch into every song. Like
Right.
they go start like this, and then go like this, then go like this. Like, and all of the artists, they may have different. Their voices may have different textures, but the cadence is the exact same.
Yeah, because
it's the same flows. It's the same three flows.
You know why?
Everybody.
Because niggas made biting. They took that out. That's like in boxing. You don't supposed to rabbit punch, hit a dude in the back of the head, right? And now in hip hop, Lil Wayne came and he started using the auto-tune as a rapper. Now, all the way up into Lil Baby. All these niggas do this. Everybody feel like they got to do that because it worked for him. Right?
Yeah.
Now, all these dudes do the auto-tune for that shit lasted over 10 years. Why? Because it works for him.
You know, when I'm gonna tell you when I can pinpoint when I think the biting became acceptable. When Shine came out, sounded like Biggie.
That's just another form of it.
I think when Shine came out, sounded like Biggie, because until that point, even if you was in the same another rapper's camp, everybody had different voices.
Right.
Everybody sounded differently, and that was one of the fun things about listening.
Don't forget Gorilla Black.
To groups. Yeah, Gorilla Black. Yeah, but that was one of the cool things about listening to groups. Mm-hmm. You could hear different voices talking about the same topic, and you could hear, you know, contextual. You know what I'm saying? It took you on a journey. But now it's like, it's hard to tell who the hell is who, because everybody's using the same producers, and almost everybody is using the exact same cadence. And obviously they're using the same catchphrases, you know. all it's ain't nobody trying to invent no new catchphrases.
Remember, everybody's going skirt.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Hey. You know, it's the same, like and it's acceptable. But you know, who do you blame? I blame the fans. And this is why. Because at the end of the day, the fans have the last say so. The fans have that. You can go out there, the artist can go out there and make any kind of music that he wants to. The executives can decide whether they're going to push it or not. The radio station can decide whether they're going to play it or not. But at the end of the day, all of these people are doing what they're doing to, at the end of the day, get money from the consumer.
Right.
And so the consumer, the fans, they have the last say so. They have the first and last say so. So they can decide, you know what, we don't give a damn what you're trying to feed us. We're not buying it.
Yeah, but you know, the consumers are the sheep. They follow, right?
Uh-huh.
Like right now, Beyonce, she did this cowboy, supposed to be a country album, right? She's in Atlanta, right? She doing the Cowboy Carter thing, right? There's no country element in Atlanta, right? But when she came and she's doing this Cowboy Carter album, probably 75% of the people never even heard the album, right? But people will go to the concert and they will go find a cowboy hat, cowboy boots, cowboy outfit just to go to the show, right? And didn't even buy the album. You know how many people I asked, did you hear the album? No. So what you going to the concert for? Because they Beyonce fans.
Because Beyonce is a cultural phenomenon.
Right.
And it's just like people see, Beyonce is a total different ball of wax. When you start thinking about Beyonce, you really have to think about events like, for example, it doesn't matter if the Hawks have a winning season or a losing season. You get some tickets to the Hawks game, you're going, right? You get some tickets to the Lakers game. It doesn't matter if they're at the bottom of the barrel or if they're the reigning, three-peat champions. Mm-hmm. You're going to the game.
Right.
Insert Beyonce. If Beyonce is coming to town to do any damn thing, if Beyonce says, I am announcing my tour where I am going to show up and I'm going to stare at the lake for an hour, join me.
They will all be standing there and they're going to be
coming to stare at the lake because Beyonce, because she's a cultural phenomenon, she's an event. She's not just an artist. When she shows up, it's an event and she moves the city. She actually moves the city. Mm. Very few artists can do something like that. So I think...
But this is why I tell you, the fans are the sheep. I'll give you a better example than Beyonce. When LeBron came into the NBA, you know what I'm saying? And he started off in Cleveland, right? Mm-hmm. Everybody became Cleveland fans, right? This nigga moves to Miami. Motherfucker, now you Miami Heat fans. I thought you was a Cleveland fan. Oh, no, I ain't a Cleveland. I'm a LeBron fan. Right. Now the nigga move over there he go back to Cleveland. Now you're a Cleveland fan, right? Now he's in LA. Now you a Lakers fan. They sheep. They wherever LeBron go, that's where they gonna go. If he go to New York, they're gonna be New York fans. So I can't really blame the sheep. You know what I'm saying? It got to be the artist to have integrity to be like, yo, I'm not copying that person style. I'm not copying their cadence. I'm not copying their flow. I'm going to do me. You know what I'm saying? Like the Clips new album. I love it because they still be in the Clips.
And they killing it. I'm like, I was checking it out yesterday.
Right.
Man. Them boys.
Now imagine Pusha T start putting auto-tune on his voice.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying? We'll be like, what? Yeah. You get what I'm saying? You know, imagine Jay-Z putting auto-tune on his voice. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And then he did it for one time. And the remix I put on For My City with Young Jeezy. He like, yo, give me a little T-Pain effect. But then he come out with Death for auto-tune. You know what I'm saying? Jay-Z he does that too. He will copy whatever the coach is doing. This is why we don't get no albums from him right now, because he's not inspired. He ain't got nobody to steal from. He don't have the state property dudes around him to steal from. He ain't got a bunch of people to steal from. So this is why we can't get no music from him, because he's not inspired.
I ain't buying that, Chuck. I'm not buying that, man.
You used to see Nas put out The King's Disease, a trilogy, and got a Grammy 20 years, 30 years past his career. Nas never got a Grammy before. He put out that King's Disease album. It was phenomenal. You know what I'm saying? They say hip-hop is a young man's game. No, it ain't. Because hip-hop is still young. You know what I'm saying? It's 50 years old right now, so they say, right? But you can still see Guns N' Roses and all these other guys still touring. You know, the niggas ain't say rock and roll is a young man's a young man's game, because you had young rock dudes come in like, I can't even think of them any names right now, but they came in and they doing rock music, right? And it's not, and the old guys are still touring, making music. Just like now, people are starting to realize, oh, wait a minute. It's not a young man's game. You know what I'm saying? And now you got, you know, the artists, Slick Rick just put out an album. P.E. just put out an album. Because they all looking at Nas like Nas woke them up. Yo, we ain't got to start rapping. Why y'all niggas quit? You think I want to listen to the young thugs and these guys? I can't relate to what they talking about.
I'll tell you, Chuck, I'll tell you why they quit. For the same reason I did. Ain't no money in it. And this is what I mean. It takes a lot of money to make these records. You know, not as much as it used to when we first coming up.
Right.
But it still takes money to make these records. It takes producers to, if you're not self-contained where you produce and write yourself, then it takes money to hire producers to come in and produce your album, you know, for a reasonable rate, right?
Right.
And that's all relative, right? So that producer, especially if he's a capable producer,
right,
he can go anywhere and write his own ticket. He can make, you know, upwards of $500,000 for one track. So for that producer to want to work with you, he has to truly, truly be inspired by you. It has to be a labor of love for him to want to work with you, even if you are a legend in the game. Because at the end of the day, the 40-something and the 50-something and the 60-something years olds, we do not buy records. We talk a lot of shit is what we do. But we do not buy the records and we do not go to the concerts. This is why the first week of sales for Snoop and Dre, who is arguably the greatest to ever do it in their divisions, right? This is why they only sold 26,000 records the first week. I believe that's what the numbers came back at.
You saw the Missionary album.
That the most recent album that they put out,
yeah,
they said it sold 26,000 the first week. These are the best to ever do it. So if they're struggling to get sales, to get to 50,000 or 100,000 sales, you know, what does that say about the rest of us? So it takes money to go in there and make these records. And if we make these records and the people that's talking the loudest, that's saying they won't change, they're saying that they want more diversity, they want the real substance back. If they're not going to buy the records, all they're going to do is talk shit, then it's not worth it.
Right.
At the end of the day, and you can love doing it. I love making music, but the older I get, the more valuable my time becomes.
Right. Now, I'm going to tell you the reason for that, right? It goes back to what we was talking about earlier. The reason the labels won't do a deal with you is because you're no longer the naive,
I'm smart.
unintelligent businessman. You know the game. You know what mechanical rights are. You know what royalties are. You know what publishing are. These young niggas, they don't know it, right? So they could get rape and rob them, right? You sitting at the negotiation table is much different. They can't take advantage of you. So these dudes and the positions of power to sign artists like yourself, you know what I'm saying, or a Nas or a Jay or whatever, is different because you know what your worth is. This industry is in the business of robbing us, right? This is why they doing streaming now, right? Streaming, what they doing is one for you, one for
It's
me.
criminal.
Two for you, one, two for me. Three for you, one, two, three for me. That's what streaming is, right? Because how could we go from selling a single for 99 cents, right? Or an album for $10.99 and sell 1 million of them and not get the same money? It's easier now with it being digital to reach the masses. Now we can sell to dudes in Germany without having to go to Germany, without having to package and distribute it. It's the same music. It's the same thing. It's just in a different format. Like I told you, I went from VHS to DVD to now MP3 or MPEG-4s to streaming, right? It's the same goddamn VHS. You're watching the same hour program, but now it's just in the format that I could ship it all over the world. The price didn't change. You get what I'm saying? The content didn't change. It's that these motherfuckers just got smart and told us, oh, it's streaming. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And they robbing us.
Yeah, and it's also easier to conceal what the true numbers are when it's there.
Exactly, because you can't. It's like the lotto.
You got to actually go by whatever information that they give you, unless you're willing to pay for an auditor to go in there and hit those books.
Right.
You know, examine those books. That's the only way. And how many times, in an artist's career would they audit a record label? Like most artists will go through their career and never audit their label.
Right.
Not even one time.
Right.
And that's insane, because that should always be oversight. That should always be oversight. That should always be trust, but verified.
Right. Like right now, Kendrick Lamar, Not Like Us, sold 10 million, which probably means it's 50 million.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying?
Right.
But we cannot count it because they're physical. It's not physical copies. I suggest that artists like Nas and all these other dudes go back to physical copies, even if you shipping out a disc drive, right? Or you go, some of us still got CD players in their car. I got a new car and it still got a CD player. Press up 50,000 CDs and sell them. And you know what I'm saying? Your fans are your fans. They're going to buy it however you give it to them. You know what I'm saying? But don't do it to deal with the Universals and all these other people. Now you have the capability of just shipping a goddamn disc drive. You can sell 1 million disc drives.
But those fans, they're not there anymore. I'm talking about the majority of your fans, as far as like being consumers, they're not there anymore.
I disagree.
Here's what I'm saying. Like, I'm pretty sure that, like, like watching the numbers and just watching how this is how the average person that's in their 40s and 50s get down.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that shit is trash, man. Let me let you check out some real shit. This is some real goddamn music right here. All right. That shit jamming. The youngsters be like, oh, yeah.
Right.
Bam. That's Ghetto Boy. Oh, yeah. And Ghetto Boys go put out a brand new record. Oh, we can count on new blood and some old blood. But the majority of those fans, no matter what we do, they're stuck on what they grew up on. It's that nostalgia is what they bought into. And quite frankly, as we get older, mm-hmm. we're not going to make assassins. We're not going to make an Assassins in 2026. We're not going to make a Mind of a Lunatic in 2026. Even if we did, it would be tempered, compared to what we would have done. I'm not going to make a 2026 Ballhead Hose. That's that's what you don't want to do. But that's what I'm saying. And what I'm saying is that there are fans out there who they're stuck with that, and that's the Willie D they want. any of this new Willie D, this evolved Willie D, they're like, man, I appreciate Willie D, man, growing, and I appreciate his growth, but shit, man, I like this over here. So what I'm saying is that we'll have some fans, obviously, that's going to follow us to the end, to the casket.
Right.
But the majority, because they have other responsibilities, they got grandkids, they got kids, they got jobs, they tired. They're not going to buy those records. They're not going to take the time out to buy those records and listen to those new records. And they are not going to go to the concerts either. They might go to, motherfuckers our age talk a lot of shit, but we don't go to concerts but once or twice a year. And when we go, we leave early. If your ass don't hit that stage before 10 o'clock, they gone. They gonna miss you as much as they love you.
Right.
They are going to miss you. Because I go to the concerts myself and I be listening, I be watching, and man, I start seeing, man, 10 o'clock hit. Yeah, man, we're gonna get up our shit. Yeah, man. They gone.
Right.
You know?
Well, like, I just went to the Wu-Tang concert, right?
Okay.
Packed all the way up to the top, right?
Yeah.
From an album that they dropped in early 90s, right? And then you got, see, I disagree with that because I feel like you can still tour with your old music and you bring in the new music.
Yeah, we got that. We got the touring thing.
Right.
We got that.
That's where you would make your money, right?
Yeah, right.
Now, what's genius about Nas, right? Nas, with his Master Appeal Records, he signed Ghostface. He signed Raekwon. He signed Slick Rick. He signed, I think, Rakim, right? And why? Because these other labels
They don't see the
with
value.
these white executives, they know that what's due to you. Nas ain't in here to rob you because he's of you, right? I guarantee you, if you went to him and be like, yo, I want to do a new Willie D album, that's a negotiation for him. If you was like, yo, we going to do a new Ghetto Boys album, he's going to do it because he know there's people out here that want that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree there are people out there that want that. I'm just saying that we're not going to get 1 million of those fans like we did, in our prime. We're not going to get 2 million, 3 million.
Right.
That ain't happening. They're not buying records like that. They're not streaming records like that.
Right.
Our people, I'm talking about our age. New blood, yeah,
Right.
if we can crack that new blood, that's fine. And we do get new blood all the time. But it's going to take new blood. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but for me, I don't want it. I'm not listening to the new blood, right? Because most of them, right now, if you look at it, everybody that is winning is over 30. When we was young in hip hop, dudes was in their teens going into their 20s. Pop died at 24, 25. Big died at 25, right? They was just babies when we look at it now, right? Jay-Z, his first album, Reasonable Doubt, he was 26 years old. Get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So people got the perception that it's a young man's game, but I believe Kendrick is way over 30. Drake is over 30, right? Young Thug is over 30, right? The Clips, they probably in their 40s.
Yeah, the hip-hop is all growing up. I mean...
so hip-hop now is... People want to mature, right? And if you don't stay in the game, you would never know. You know what I'm saying? I would have never thought Nas' King's Disease album would that I would be so in love with it like I was. And you know why I loved it? Because it was a grown Nas talking about stuff that he didn't get to talk about in his past in that album. So all he really is doing is reflecting on the old days, but kicking it in today, right? Mm-hmm. Same thing you could do. You could go back and visit or a bunch of stuff when you was young and talk about it, but I'm fucking with it, right? Because you talking to a mature person giving game to your young self.
Yeah, I absolutely understand the method. I understand what to do. Like I'm really truly a writer, so I understand and I study this whole thing for real. Mm-hmm. So I understand what to do, how to go in and and because I do have a strong audience of people who listen to what I have to say right now. Because all I did was, took the information that I had, coming up and doing the music and just put it in a talk show format. That's all I really did. The conversation we're having right now is a conversation I would have had on Wax, years ago. If you go back and really listen, there was always social political information in those records. Right. So I absolutely get what you're saying. I'm just saying that it costs to make those records more, and the ROA is the ROI is not as as profitable as it used to be.
But it's not as costly as it was back then too. You don't have the Sony studios. You're not recording on the reel no more.
I got it.
So the budget is going to be much lower, you know what I'm saying, to put out a project. And the mixing is going to be much lower, right? So the profit margin, you might not sell 1 million records, right? But you can sell 50,000 and make a good profit, and then go on the road and go and do your nostalgic hits along with some of your new stuff and make money off of your shows.
I absolutely get it, but here's what I guess what I'm really trying to impress upon you also is the other side of that. There's a dichotomy where where you're also looking at the fact that a lot of times the record will not be heard. Like back in the Gap, we had radio, and if you make records, you spend your time making these records, producing these records. Mm-hmm. You want, as an artist, you want your shit to be heard. You don't want to just do it for yourself. Mm-hmm. You want your music to be heard. And so because the radio do have an attitude of this being a young man's game, mm-hmm. that they're not playing, I don't care how dope it is, the 40-something, the 50-something, or the 60-something-year-old's record on the radio. Yeah, there's gonna always be a juggernaut here and there where right. somebody gonna squeak through the cracks. Right. But when you make these music and you make these songs and you put your heart into these songs, man, you want the world to hear these songs. And obviously we got online. I know you cover where you're going. We got online and there's avenues right there. But again, you're talking about spending bread. You still got, even online, you still got to spend bread to rise above the fray. It still requires, even though it's not as much as it used to be, it still requires a considerable investment.
I challenge you to do a new single, right? Put out a new single, one song, right? And every show, tag that single in the beginning or end of your show and put the link to it in your description box in every video. And I guarantee you'll sell 50,000 units.
See, that's the problem. I want to sell 50 million.
You may. I'm going low and say 50,000, right? Because now your reach is much more broader, right? YouTube, your shows ain't just watch. Look at your metrics, your demographics. Yeah. Mine's is New York, Atlanta, and then it's Canada, then it's the Great Britain, then it's Germany, then it's Africa, then it's the Netherlands, then it's Ireland. Like, these are like my top markets right there. I've been to most of these places, right? I've been to all of them except for Ireland, maybe, right? But the point is that your reach is much more bigger now, right? So you don't have to fucking worry about radio no more, right? And you still got LL Cool J's Rock the Bells who cater to your audience. The LL Rock the Bells will play your new music. And that's satellite radio, and that streams worldwide. You know what I'm saying? The game is different, but you just got to know how to monopolize off it. And I guarantee you put out a new single that's hard. And I guarantee you, if you tag it and promote it on your show, you put the description and the link to that single, I guarantee you will sell 50,000 in less than 3 months.
All right, let me think about it. Okay,
Right.
I'll think about it. Let's go back to what you said about being vocal and just basically saying what's on your mind when you. Let's go back to the moment you was in. I think you was in the boardroom or whatever, and you spoke about the Bunny and Clyde song and saying why Jay-Z was biting Pac or whatever. Do you ever worry about your safety when you make these type of statements, man? Because you expose a lot, and like you say what's on your mind. You say what's on your heart. You wear your heart on your sleeve. Are you ever concerned about your safety?
I'm always concerned, of course.
Statements?
I mean, I don't fear shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't fear shit. The worst thing they could do is kill me, right?
That's pretty bad, though.
That's the worst they could do. Right? Yeah. So, like yesterday, I seen Pastor Troy. He like, man, they ain't get you yet, man. I said, nigga, them New Orleans niggas will get you before they get me. He's like, hey, that shit rung a bell for him. Nigga, like, all I'm doing is talking my truth. If you want to harm me for telling my truth or what I go through or telling you that a bunch of these niggas are successful because they undercover homosexuals, if they that mad at me because that's what they are, so be it. But nigga, I will kill you before you kill me. I will jump on the stage and spray a motherfucking nigga and walk right over to the fucking police and be like, take me. I've been to jail before. I ain't scared of it. You know what I'm saying? So the shit that I say is the shit that motherfuckers are scared to say, but they fucking feel the same way. You know what I'm saying? As many people that fit, like, be like, damn, that nigga choked, man. He better be careful out there. Man, they gonna get that nigga, this, that, and the other. Those are fucking bitch-ass, pussy-ass niggas that ain't got the motherfucking heart to say what I said, right? But they know what I'm saying is true, right? You know how traumatized I am from this fucking industry because niggas couldn't fuck me, that I can't get to the bag because I ain't succumbed to homosexuality? That shit hurt me, bro. Niggas that I came up in the motherfucking industry with, niggas know how talented I am. And they don't fuck with me because they scared that if I'm in the room with them niggas, if I see them niggas sucking the dick, I might tell. So why would you want to do something to me? Because all I'm doing is trying to save the motherfuckers that's coming behind me. I'm the nigga to tell nigga, yo, you go do a deal, nigga, they gonna take your publishing. You mad at me for telling the motherfucker, y'all gonna rob a nigga for his publishing? How many years have we been in the game and niggas still getting robbed for their publishing? Right? Niggas still get robbed for their publishing. That is the first line of business that you know that you should be protecting. Right? So if I say it, niggas get mad at me for that shit?
How do record labels, after so many decades, I mean, we can go all the way back to Mom's Mabel, and you can go
Sam Cooke,
Little Richie. I mean, how is it that record labels continue to get away with, literally raping rappers and singers, and after all of these years, how do they continue to get away with it?
Like I told you, once our generation got hip to the game, like I said, whether it was Ice Cube, whether it was Naughty by Nature, Tretch and them going there dumping a whole bunch of box of rats and snakes in their office and shit, this is what y'all are. Or Ultramagnetic, Kool Keith lining a bunch of eggs up from the office up to the elevator. Y'all niggas is walking on eggshells. Like,
I hadn't heard that story.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, these tactics of trying to get their money, you know what I'm saying? is we gonna get rid of the intelligent ones or the ones that learned about the business, and we gonna usher in a new generation that don't know the game. This is how they get away with it.
But
unless our peers learn, right? And then they start robbing their own.
Well, how is it that they're consistently able to get away with that with black artists, but it seems to me that like they actually they embrace teaching the white artist and other artists
because because that's their culture.
Okay.
That's their culture, that's their people, right? You ain't gonna rob your people in here, right? You gonna make sure everybody's taken care of fairly, right? But somebody else and that you don't know, you might take advantage of them because they don't know no better. Unless you just got that type of integrity in your heart. But they not gonna rob their own people. This is why Michael Jackson couldn't say Jew or kike on his shit, right? They got mad at him for it, but we could say nigga all day, and we could kill each other all in our music, and they'll put it out. But as soon as we say something about Jewish people or something like that, you're Kanye. That's why Kanye just pushing the envelope, right? Oh, I can say nigga all day, but let me say something about you. Let me put on a swastika and just to see what they gonna do and what they do. They shut them down. You can't do that. But I can say nigga all day. Culture vultures. They don't give a fuck about us. They want to rape us. This is why streaming is 1 for you, 1 for me. 2 for you, 1, 2, 2. It ain't them niggas 4, 8, 12 for me. 3 for you, motherfucking 12, 24, 36 for me.
Is it hypocritical for black folks to complain about others using the N-word and they use it so frequently?
Yeah. Somewhat. You know what I'm saying? When we grew up, our parents ain't like us saying the word nigga, right? We get in trouble for it, right? We couldn't say that around our mothers and grandmothers because it meant something different to them. You know what I'm saying? For us, it means something different to us growing up. You know what I'm saying? Because after NWA, you know what I'm saying? NWA dropped, and before they dropped, people wasn't really even cursing in their music. After NWA, you know, it kind of became cool to say nigga, or people, the sheep followed it, and then the cursing. Then I turned around, MC Light cursing on the music. I'm like, what? The MC Light cursing now? You know what I'm saying?
But you know what I well, as far as the N-word is concerned, when I grew up, as hood as I was and the environment that I grew up in was, my mama didn't use the N-word. And she didn't even when she watched television and watched white folks on TV, she never used derogatory words to describe white folks.
Right.
So that's why, like, the trip, his was the trip part about it though. When I was growing up, I never used those type of words to describe white folks. But I picked up the N-word because of the environment that I was in outside of home. Mm-hmm. So I peppered my music with the N-word. Mm-hmm. But as I got older, I realized, man, how it was really like, it was anti-productive. I realized that, and I really started really internalizing that word, man. And I grew to really despise it. And even so, I still would use the word, but when I say the word, it ain't no term of endearment.
Right.
If I call you a N-word,
right,
I am looking at you as a despicable piece of, that's how I look at it.
Right.
But when we start taking on these terms, how much of that are we actually responsible for, though?
We're responsible for all of it.
Yeah.
We're definitely responsible for all of it. But as you can see, the labels, they didn't stop us from saying it. If they would have said, yo, you can't say the word nigga in your music, we would have found ways of making music without saying it.
Right.
They wanted us. They ushered, they fueled it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Niggas for life. Niggas with attitudes. You know what I'm saying? Like, they fueled it. They could have told us, no, you can't say that. Just like you can't say nothing derogatory about Jewish people, right? They could have said that, yo, you can't talk about your people like that. You cannot use the word like that. If Martin Luther King was Jimmy Iovine, you think we would be saying that? No. If Malcolm X was Jimmy Iovine or Leo Cohen, do you think we would be rapping like that? No. Do you think these dudes would have been wearing dresses? No.
Yeah.
Look at that. You know what I'm saying? Look at that. That is a whole thing in itself, right? Like, you ain't in the 90s, you ain't never seen, you would have never got DMX to wear a goddamn dress. You would have never got Willie D to wear a goddamn dress, right? Never, right?
Yeah.
But you see Young Thug wear a dress. You see CeeLo Green wear a dress. You know what I'm saying? But why? So they could crack through the fucking ceiling. You know what I'm saying? But you would never do it. This is why you would never be who or reach the levels that they are. And they don't niggas make them niggas more talented than you. They're not more talented than you, but they did certain things that you would never do. And when you got integrity in this game, like you and myself, you're not going to reach those plateaus. No matter what you do, unless you are Kevin Hart or you're Tyler Perry or dudes that's going to put on a dress, Eddie Murphy, you know what I'm saying, and play these things that then feminize us as black men to what they coin as, oh, it's funny, or it's comedy, or this, that, and the other. No, it's not. There ain't nothing funny about it. But when they bring the dress to you and tell you to put it on, ask how many people whose careers stopped right there as soon as they said no.
How much of what you say affects your family?
It don't affect my family how?
Yeah,
financially.
No. In terms of, well, I never even thought about the financial part, but I'm just talking about
I have a guy that say to me, socially, I don't involve my family in this. You know what I'm saying? At all. My family, they live a life on their own.
But we live in an era where people cross those boundaries all the time. They don't care about if they find out, oh, choke, no.
I got a dude, Gene Dale, to talk about my mother being a crackhead all the time. Your mother was a crackhead. You know what I'm saying? This, that, and the other. Okay, so what? And I took my mother up on the Breakfast Club when I did it, right? When I took my mother up on the Breakfast Club when I did it and let her tell her story. My mother been clean over 30 years. You know how many people my mother got clean? Like, you know what I'm saying? That's on their 20th year, on their 10th year, on their 5th year. You know what I'm saying? People may sit there and talk about my family or whatever. Yeah, it may affect them, but do it bother me none? No.
Does it bother them?
Bother my family? My mother don't give a fuck what they say.
Is your mom a social worker now?
Now, she works in helping people in Narcotics Anonymous. And she's been doing that 30-something years. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, where do you get this defiant truth spitter spirit from? You know,
Growing up not having shit. Right? Opening the refrigerator and the shit looking back at me. Ain't nothing in it.
I think I never heard anybody describe it like that. And so I guess I opened up the refrigerator and shit looked back at me a few times.
Yeah, it ain't nothing in it, right?
Yeah, right.
But you didn't understand back then that was poverty. Yeah. Because you still went outside and played with your friends and had a goddamn great time. And came upstairs and may not have nothing and just went over to the school and got some free lunch.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So when you tell me that I gotta succumb to homosexuality to get a bag, nigga, I'm the nigga that grew up with roaches. right? I'm the guy that grew up that didn't have nothing. So the fact that I have something today, I don't need millions. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm the guy that grew up with Christmas. It's nothing in the living room for me, for none of us, right? But we still was happy. I'll go to my friend's house and he got all the little Atari games, Coleco games and everything like that. I'll go play at his house, right? But I never had to go out and rob, steal, and kill to be happy because as a kid, you know what I'm saying, playing Skelsy, you know what I'm saying, in the streets or playing football in the streets or not even knowing that there's a water park. I'm playing in the sprinklers and having fun. You get what I'm saying? The little local pool. I didn't know there was a 12-foot pool. I'm just used to the 3-foot pool, right? Until I get up and I grow up and I get older and my mind expands and I see all, I'm like, oh, wow, I was poor, but I was still happy. You get what I'm saying? I didn't understand what poverty was as a kid. I packed bags for a living when I was a kid at the supermarket to make money. I did paper routes as a kid. You know what I'm saying? I worked in retail. I worked at the toy store. I worked at McDonald's.
Is this was all in the Bronx?
Yes.
Yeah. You mentioned that you were still happy, you know, even though you were.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
My father died when I was 15, right? When my father died, in his will, he left everything to my sisters and everybody else, right? And there was a note in there for me that says, he left me nothing. You know what it said? You are a man. You got to get it on your own. Do you know how traumatizing that was?
Yeah, that's pretty shitty, man.
But you know what? It worked.
Yeah, but guess what, though? You're right, it worked. But guess what? It could have worked without that. You know what I'm saying? Because that's why you instill. People tell me all the time, well, you know, if you wouldn't have went through that, if you would, you know, the abuse and this and that, you know, you wouldn't be the person who you are. That's true. I might be a better person.
You're right.
You know what I'm saying? I could have been a better person, you
right.
know, if I didn't have to go through all of that fucking trauma and shit. I'm pretty sure that trauma probably cost me at least a few years of my life. You know, maybe I lived to be 90 years old, but if without that shit, maybe I could have got to 100. You know,
right.
So I think when people say stuff like that, it gives our attackers and our violators a pass. You know, because they say, yeah, well, I made him hard. You know, if it wasn't for me doing all the stuff that I did, then he probably wouldn't be as successful as he is. And woo. So. That kind of that rubs me the wrong way when I hear stuff like that because children, you know, deserve love and they do not deserve to be pushed around by their protectors.
Right.
I want to just go back to that statement that you made earlier about being happy despite, right? Are you happy now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why? Because I could look myself in the mirror and know that I ain't, even though these dudes may have more than me, right? Like, I look at it different now. Like, I just came from Dubai, right? I may not have went to Dubai on a private jet, right? I may not have drove around Dubai in a Lamborghini, but I was in Dubai, right? I may not have stayed in a penthouse suite, but I stayed at a nice hotel. Right. So for me, I might not do it the way y'all niggas brag and boast about doing it, but I could go anywhere you go in the world. I went to Monaco, Monte Carlo, went to the Monte Carlo casino. I just seen Floyd there. Nigga draped down in all goddamn Louis Vuitton, big ass logos all over him. I was in the same space you were, right? You walking around with 5 bodyguards and all this attention. And I walked around there by myself. And the women were still trying to talk to me there, right? So for me, I feel like I don't have to do what they do to feel successful. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm still doing and I'm still going the same places they going to, right?
You know,
without
yeah,
sacrificing my integrity.
yeah, and that's important. I personally don't believe that Floyd does what he does to feel important. I think he knows who he is. He's good inside of his skin. I think all of that stuff is part of his branding. Because if you think about
100%.
Because if you think about it, you go back, because I remember Floyd before he became Floyd. I remember Floyd when he was Pretty Boy Floyd.
Right.
And I've been around him and I seen how he take care of his people. Very grounded dude. He understood though that this is what they want to see, so this is what I'm gonna show them.
I'm gonna tell you a perfect example of that, right? Floyd called me one day, right? On the FaceTime. I didn't know Floyd. Somebody, he see me on YouTube. I guess he liked my character. He hit me up, right? I'm gonna tell you why he stopped calling too, right? So he called me up and I'm like, yo, Floyd, what's up, man? You know, I was happy to meet him or whatever. I said, yo, Floyd, why you got $1 million on the table? Like, what is that for? Like, to me, that's corny, right? You got $1 million. He said, Choke, if I got $1 million on the table, what are they gonna offer me? I said, got you, nigga.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Smart,
Yeah.
right? If I already got $1 million on the table, you better at least have $1 million to talk to me, right? And then the next thing I said to him is that I feel like I might have hurt his feelings. I'm like, yo, why dudes always taking your women, right? Nelly done took your girl. Ray J done took your girl and married him. Like, what's that? What's that? And he like, I could just see it in his face. It just changed, right? And he was like, man, they wasn't my girls like that if they went with them. And I'm like, all right, cool. You know what I'm saying? After that, I never heard from him again.
You know, that's a good comeback because, you know, what's for me is for me. And the fact that we don't own each other, you know, it's my girl only because she says she my girl.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm a guy because I say I'm a guy. You know, not because she do, because she might want me to still be a guy and I moved on. So
Right.
I'm no longer her guy. So
I just feel like that's a level, that's the Dame and Jay thing.
Yeah.
Don't come hanging around me and then take my girl. Or even feel like you shouldn't even look at her in that way. You get what I'm saying?
That's you know, yeah, that's when it's your partner, girl or whatever, that's your sister, man. That's just like that. It's automatic. Like, you know, to me, it's disgusting. You know?
Right. And that was really what my question was.
Yeah.
Like, how these niggas is hanging with you and then they pop up with your girl, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. And the trip part about, well, I ain't going to get in that. But anyway, man, I really do appreciate, definitely got to do it again, man.
Yeah.
I appreciate you coming on the show, man.
Yeah, I appreciate
and
it.
sharing your insight, man. I could talk to you for hours and hours and hours, man. We definitely got to keep
Wait,
the conversation
one
going.
thing before we go.
Yeah.
I seen you was mad at something that I posted one time. Brooklyn Sincere told a story about how Bow Wow got raped in the tunnel by, I ain't gonna say her name, but by a girl. You remember that?
I remember. I vaguely remember who the girl was. I know it was
A model
famous
chick. I'll tell you what it is off camera.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you had a problem, I don't know, with that story being told. It was something I can't remember, but I remember you doing the show about that. But the girl took advantage of Bow Wow when he was only like 15 in the tunnel in the bathroom.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I remember you said something about it, but I can't remember what it was though.
Yeah. I probably was just you know, basically saying that it was what's good for the goose is good for the gander, you know, in terms of if a woman does something like that, she should be punished. Just like if a man was to do something like that. Because we live in a double standard society, man, where, you know, I get it. Some things benefit men, you know, and other things benefit women in this double standard society that we live in. And so you kind of take the good with the bad. But when it comes to violating somebody's body, that's personal. You know, that's very personal. That's different from, oh, I'm paying for the lunch, or you know, I'm taking out the trash, or
Right.
you know, she's cooking, and I expect, you know, we expect him to be the protector of the house. Violating somebody's body is a very personal thing. And yeah, I have zero tolerance for that, no matter who does it.
Right.
Yeah.
All
But
right,
yeah,
cool.
again, man, I appreciate you, man. I really do. And you know, I think it's important to have people, you know, who are, you know, who are authentic, you know, on these type of platforms. Not somebody who's just going around making shit up. But you know, sometimes you know, when a person like you, who is the type of person who will say this is what it is, and this is what I saw, you know, I would always tell people like, well, maybe you shouldn't do shit if you don't want somebody to talk about it. It's like kind of living your life. Like we preach our eulogy every day by our actions. We preach our own eulogy. So however you want to be remembered, you can actually create that right now. You know, the things that you do in life, you can decide whether people are going to remember you in a good way and are they going to say good things behind closed doors about you. You can actually like control that with your actions. So if you don't want people talking about the shit, don't do it. For anything that I've ever done that was filed or whatever, you know, it might be embarrassing, but I did the shit and I got to deal with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Before I go, what is it that I say that make the people feel like I should fear for my life?
Well, anytime that you're speaking on a person who has means that can push a button and make some shit disappear, that's dangerous. And so we wouldn't, you know, we would be, you know, remiss to overlook that, you know, that.
But what would I say that would make them want to push the button?
Well, whatever it is that is not, does that not show that person in a positive light? You know, nobody wants their name, somebody to speak ill of their name. You know, nobody wants somebody to put their mouth on them in a negative way. Right. So if somebody,
whether it's true,
even if it's true, nobody wants somebody to put their mouth on them in a negative way. So, and if that person has the means, you know, shit could happen. You know, like they might just decide one day, because what happens a lot of times, and I'm sure you've been in this position at least once or twice, where somebody will walk up to you out of the blue and say, man, I can handle that for you, man. Yeah, such said this, man, fuck that motherfucker. I can do it. Whoop. And depending, you might be in the club having a good time or something and just, you know what, man?
But you know, I could do the same thing to them, right?
Boom.
And I got niggas that will do the same thing to them, right?
Boom. Yeah.
But I wouldn't even put none of my people in a position to go to jail for me. I would do it myself.
Yeah. Allegedly. Ladies and gentlemen, Choke No Joke.
Choke No Joke. Subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow me at Instagram at Real Choke No Joke. It's been a pleasure, y'all. Shout out to H-Town. Y'all know what it is.
No more talk.